What's up? What's up? It's Coach Nick.
And 2.0.
And today we want to have a conversation about a topic that's really serious, so it won't be too much joking around. We want your opinion on what's going on with the Senate hearings for the next Supreme Court Justice, Brett Kavanaugh, and the situation with Christine Ford. What's up, Talon? How are you?
Talon?
Give shout-outs, man.
How you doing, Talon? I'm giving shout-outs.
Give shout-outs.
Talon, what's up, man? How you doing?
Listen, we want to know what your opinion is. What we're going to do is we're going to send some of this link to a couple of different places,
Yep.
you know, because we want to, get people to come on the group over here, and we're going to have this discussion. But we want you to comment below.
Ronnie?
What's up, Ronnie?
What's
up,
up,
Laura?
Lou?
We want you guys to share this.
Yep.
Okay? Please share, and let's get a bunch of people in here so we can have a conversation about different opinions and thoughts and so on and so forth, because we're really curious to find out exactly what's going on.
Talon writes, what's going on, fellas?
What's going on, Talon? So we're going to do a little bit of a conversation about a very sensitive topic, and
Hello,
we want to get everybody's opinion to find out what everybody thinks. What's up, Raymond?
Yeah.
All right. So we have some thoughts about it. Okay. And 2.0. How many years of martial arts?
15.
15 years of martial arts.
And he's been doing
decades. Okay, so we're
Oh,
going to
yeah.
give you an idea regarding that and how it applies to this issue. Also, for people that don't know,
What's up, Nick?
I'm actually a licensed attorney up in New York, so I'm going to give you my legal opinion, but I'm curious to find out what you guys think, okay? But we're going to start having a conversation right now about what we think. So one of the things that's really interesting, and first and foremost, the issue of rape and sexual assault is horrible, absolutely horrible. Okay, so whether or not the assault happened or didn't happen, we don't know. We weren't there. You don't know. Okay, but the sheer thought of a sexual assault is horrendous, right? The other component is if somebody lies and accuses people of sexual assault, that as well is horrendous, horrible. Okay, so we want to talk about what we think. We want to hear what you think. All right, so please put your thoughts on who do you think is the liar. Who's the liar? Comment in the comment section. Give us some feedback. Let's share this. Let's start a conversation and let's talk about it. 2.0. Talk about what you think could be done. Let's talk about what could be done. A lot of our friends are martial artists, so I'd like you guys to chime in. What could be done to prevent a situation where there's a sexual assault? So, whether or not she was actually assaulted, we don't know, okay? But let's assume you're a woman or a guy, whatever the case may be, and you're at a bar and or at a party, whatever the case may be, and you're a teenager. What can you do as a young person, a young lady, a young man, to prevent yourself from being sexually assaulted, right? What can you do? 2.0, a couple of things.
First things first, as far as preventing yourself from being sexually assaulted, the number one rule is to always, always, always be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of the people around you.
Right.
Be aware of, be sure that you're in a safe environment. Make sure nobody's really behind you, or you have to make sure, because you have to be ready at any moment for someone to jump out and try to grab you, especially if you're alone. Like if you're alone walking down a place, especially if it's like a shady type of place.
Right, I agree with that, right? And also the other thing is, I think that a lot us as parents. I'm talking to people that are parents out there.
Yep.
We want to do the best for our kids, and a lot of times by doing that, we don't necessarily get them prepared for what type of things can happen out there.
No.
So there's a lot of good people in the world. And I say this all the time. There's a lot of good people. There's a lot of indifferent people, and there's a lot of son of a bitches out there, right?
A lot of bad.
Okay, and it only takes one time to be exposed to somebody who's really bad news, right? Yeah. And your life could be irreparably changed or harmed, or you could pass away, or your loved one could be harmed. Okay, so one of the things that you want to do is you want to be aware of your environment. Okay, and if at all possible, you wanna try to go to whatever you're going to with other people, right?
Yes, always be in a crowd. If you're not, just careful. Be careful.
But
around.
That being said, okay, you need to really be prepared for yourself. We got some comments in there. Go ahead, read it out.
Somebody writes, why do we have to prevent getting sexually assaulted? We already know the laundry list of what we need to do. Don't put your drink down. Go with friends. Don't be alone.
Yeah, but that's not it, Brittany. That's not what that's not what we're trying to say. Okay, what we're trying to tell you, and this is, it can be women or guys. It could be all of the above. What's up, Wade, Brittany? It could be. We're not saying that. Why should you? Why should you? Because every person should. Because there's evil out there. There's evil out there, right? So it's not that women are causing this to happen. That's not it. That's not what we're saying.
It's not anybody. It's
criminals
in general.
And degenerates will target people that they perceive to be vulnerable.
And a criminal
they'll target the elderly. Mm-hmm. They'll target they'll target people that they deem smaller, weaker. Okay, all of this stuff. Let's read some more messages in here. Let's move a little faster. So bear with us. We're gonna try to read this.
Hello, gentlemen. I think someone selected for the highest court of America should scroll up, go through the utmost security and have impeccable.
We can't read the rest of it, but Wade basically is saying Wade's a very good friend of ours. He is I believe a retired military veteran.
Yes.
Okay, good friend of mine from junior high school. Okay, great guy, and I think you're right. I think when you're applying for a job, any job, you have to be checked out. There's no question about it.
Background check is
right. So without getting political one way or another, I think that's reasonable, right? But back to what we were saying. All right, Brittany. It's not that we're saying that you as a woman should have to change your life. What we're saying is people out there, there's scumbags out there.
Yes.
Right?
You always have to be careful.
And whether you're a guy or a girl or whatever the case may be, I feel that in our society, everybody walks around, a lot of people walk around thinking that everything is safe out there. And, I got to tell you, at age 16, I was held up at gunpoint. And before that, I didn't think that was ever going to happen, right? Mm-hmm. So it's not a question of why should you. It's a question of there's danger out there. Okay, and not just women, but everyone should be aware of what's going on around them to prevent themselves from becoming a victim. Now, that being said, there's no way to protect yourself completely from being a victim because there's a lot of bad people out there that have weapons and things of that nature, right? Mm-hmm. But now, let's say you're in a situation and you took all reasonable care to try to prevent that from happening. Right?
Yep.
Here's a couple of things that you might want to consider, right? And I'm not going to bother you with, don't have drinks and go with a group and all that. We already told you go with a group.
That's basic.
You're a young person, you're going to have drinks, man. You're going to smoke some weed. It's what it is, right? And that shouldn't be the cause for getting raped or groped or anything of that nature. No. It's just unacceptable. A couple of things that you can do, okay? The obvious thing is people think about, striking the genitalia of a guy and so on and so forth. The forum guys.
I love the forum guys.
Yeah, wait. Thank you, brother. Thank you, man. But please comment in there. Comment in there. Listen, everybody knows about the shot to the groin, right? Oh. But here's a really cool thing. You could stick a finger in the eye. How about that? All right, you can hit him in the throat. Okay, people can't deal with that.
Pressure points.
Yeah, the pressure points secondary,
secondary,
but the eye, the throat. Okay, then the testicles. Why not? Add it in there. It's all good. And let me tell you, we've taught several people martial arts. Okay.
Yep.
Several women, and we actually had 4 of our students who were women that were sexually attacked or attempted attacks.
Yeah.
And it didn't go well. It didn't go well for the attacker.
Oh, no.
Okay? The attackers got their ass kicked. Okay? Because these young ladies trained, okay?
Yep.
And they were prepared for it because you know what? The world is not a safe place.
Hello, John.
And there are messed up people out there. What's up, John? Okay? Mm-hmm. I'm just sharing this to get more people on board so we can have a more robust conversation. But I want to know what your opinions are. Who are the liars? Wade said that there should be a complete background check for whomever becomes the Supreme Court justice. And you know what? That makes a lot of sense to me.
That makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense. I mean, people go for jobs, right? They have tests if you're on drugs, this, that, the third.
Exactly.
Why should the Senate, the presidency, Congress, why should that be any different? It makes sense, right?
It makes sense.
Okay. What are your thoughts? Okay. Do you think that Kavanaugh is lying? Do you think that Ford is lying? Do you think that the truth is somewhere in the middle? Do you think that something happened? Did something not happen? I want you guys to comment below and give us an idea of what your thoughts are. We're getting more people on board to have a more robust conversation.
Basically, what are your thoughts and why?
Now, here's another thing that I wanted to talk about. The other component is, we hear conversations about, the cases from 36 years ago and so on and so forth and things of this nature, which is true. Okay. So one of the things that needs to be taken into consideration is that this is not a criminal case. So probable cause and things of that nature is not relevant. John Morris says Ford is a liar. Okay.
Ooh.
Go ahead, John, mention in the comment section why your thoughts are. What are your thoughts about that? Hey,
Hello,
Scott,
Tyler.
what's going on?
Hi, Scott. How you guys
Scott,
doing?
what's going on? How's California
How you
treating you,
guys
brother?
doing, guys?
How's it going? All right. So, yeah, comment below as to why you think she's a liar, okay? The alleged incident occurred, I think, 36 years ago.
36 years.
Based on what she said.
Yep.
Okay? He says it didn't happen. Nobody was there.
Robert.
Hey, Robert, what's up, man?
Robert's-
Nobody was there, so we don't know. But I'd like to know what your thoughts are, right? Why is one a liar or the other a liar? What are your thoughts?
What are your thoughts?
From a legal perspective, if it was a criminal case, which this is not,
No,
right?
it's not.
This is a case of getting appointed as a Supreme Court justice. From a legal standpoint, well, it would be really hard to convict someone on allegations from 36 years ago, right? Because you have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the occurrence happened, and that's a pretty high standard, right? But once again, this is not a criminal procedure. This is a procedure to determine whether or not Brett Kavanaugh should become a Supreme Court judge, right? Again, criminal case, you have to have probable cause to arrest. You have to prove beyond the reasonable doubt that somebody has actually committed the crime that's been alleged.
Yep.
Okay, these are all things that need to happen. Okay, we weren't there.
No.
But we have some thoughts. Okay, some thoughts. For example, all right, are there credible witnesses that can really substantiate all of this information? Are there credible witnesses? Let's see. Sandra says something happened to Ford. Brett on nightmare ride all over his liking beer and yearbook. She mistake using little girl voice witnesses. She say lying not there, don't know him. Okay. Makes sense. All right. So, again, right? None of us were there. Right?
Yeah,
there should be an investigation, I guess, right? I would have thought that they would have had an investigation before they had a hearing.
Yeah.
I don't, we don't know the process, but it's a job interview, so you would think there would be background checks and things of that nature. I don't know, okay? But again,
what's up, Seiko?
Hey, what's going on, Hanchi? How are you? Again, what do you do? I mean, the greater issue is, I think that there's two major problems here, right? Aside from the actual hearing, you have the issue of rape and sexual assault and things of that nature, and then you have the issues of people lying about that type of stuff, right? So, and I don't know who's lying, so I don't know if she's lying or he's lying, but you have two major problems, and they're both pretty bad, right? Because obviously rape is horrendous and sexual assault is horrendous.
Yep.
But at the same token, if you're falsely accused, that's pretty damn bad because it casts a shadow over you indefinitely. And even if you're found on paper to be, not guilty or not responsible, it doesn't necessarily clear your name, and it could potentially forever ruin you. So you got problems on both ends. Scott says there will be no way to find out the whole truth. I agree with that. Absolutely. It boils down to if Kavanaugh is qualified to be a Supreme Court justice. And based on his record, he is. The alleged sexual assault is just that. We can't read the rest of it.
It says Seymour. Hold on.
Yeah, hold on one second. We're trying to read the
rest
rest
of it. There we are.
There
you go.
Read the rest of it?
It is okay. He writes, "There will be no way to find out the whole truth," which is correct.
Keep reading. I'm going to share.
It boils down to if Kavanaugh is qualified to be a Supreme Court justice, and based on his record, he is. The alleged sexual assault is just that, alleged, and if it did not, and if it did occur, it occurred when he was a juvenile. This is an 11th hour Hail Mary by the Democrats to postpone this until after the election, hoping they take majority.
So,
Okay.
I mean, the politicians always jockey on both sides, right? They always do that. I think we just got another message from Robert Young.
Yep, he wrote,
I don't know who's lying,
but Gorsuch
went through no problem, and Brett totally lost his composure and made it
really political.
Sorry. That's true. That's true. He did lose it, but I guess the flip side of it is if he wasn't lying, I got to be honest with you. If somebody accused me, I don't know if I would have kept my mouth shut. I don't know if I'd be.
He got mad.
I would get pissed. I don't think I'd be crying. I think I'd get
he was
pissed.
upset.
Yeah. So if somebody would accuse me, I don't know. But valid point. Valid point.
Yeah.
Again, now let's change the question. Should Kavanaugh be appointed as the Supreme Court judge? Based on what we have so far, based on what we know so far, what are your thoughts? Do you think that should be the case? Do you think that he should be appointed as a Supreme Court justice? What are your thoughts? Comment below.
Yes, no, maybe.
I personally have my opinions, and I think 2.0 agrees with me. We don't know. We don't know because
no idea.
Because the process is not over yet, right?
We have no idea what happened. For that matter.
And quite frankly, I don't have too much confidence in politicians, so I don't know if it's gonna be handled properly.
All right, Bernadette Kowaleski. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. Said if she can't remember who drove to the party, picked her up 25 minutes from your house, not credible. 36 years ago, most of us would be embarrassed by something we did in our yearbook. Too long. No evidence. Judge Kavanaugh is honorable. This is alleged. If this did occur, he was a juvenile and should be expunged. He should be Supreme Court judge. That's what she writes.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
And Sandra also writes.
Valid point.
Hello, Miko. Sandra also writes. If it was this seriously, why didn't the Democrats turn over to police, explaining to her legally need to do? Why didn't she tell her girlfriend so she can leave the house before she can be assaulted also? Who took her home?
Those are some valid points. Those are some valid points.
Wade
responds.
writes, I am still waiting for more information to determine whether he is qualified, as well as what else comes out from the investigation.
Right. I agree with that as well, Wade. We are in agreement with that. So I just shared this to several people so that we can get more comments on that. I hate the horse and pony show that goes on where there's a lot of emotion and divisiveness going on. Hey, Brandon, what's up? Don, rather than looking at the facts and letting the facts basically determine what should happen. There's a lot of posturing on both sides, and I don't think it really does anything other than create divisiveness. And at the end of the day, we're all Americans, whether we're Democrat, Republicans, we're all people too, right? I mean, so, that type of stuff, I don't think it really benefits anyone. I really don't, okay? But that being said, I really want to go back to a couple of stories about things that happened to some of our students, some of our martial arts students that were women martial arts students that were actually sexually assaulted. Or attempted sexual assaults, okay, without mentioning names or anything like that. In fact, we spoke about this a while back, okay. We actually told the story. I think we were driving.
We were driving
A1A, right?
Yeah, A1A. We were almost near the beach.
Yeah, we were driving on A1A. It was near the Intercoastal, and we were having a conversation about one of these four young ladies that was actually accosted. Listen, please share this. Please share this because if we can get more opinions in there, it's nice to have a discourse that's not filled with anger and yelling and posturing and all that other bullshit that the politicians do. Let them do that, right? Hey, Miko, what's up? How are you?
Miko writes, I feel that this has only been brought up because she's pissed about him possibly being voted in to be Supreme Court Justice. Could be.
Could be. What's up, Gio? How are you? Right. So one of the things that we discussed a while back, I don't remember which live stream it was because we stream a lot, but we talked about one of our clients. She was 16 years old at the time when we had our martial arts school up in New York, and just a little background, okay? I studied martial arts for several decades. Nicholas studied martial arts for
15 years.
15 years, okay? And we've taught people martial arts. So one of the things that we think is absolutely necessary is to be able to protect yourself, whether you're a woman or a man. It doesn't really matter. But in this particular situation, we think it's imperative.
Nico writes, I feel that if this were real, it would have been brought up beforehand.
Valid point. Valid point. Some people, Miko, some people say that, people are embarrassed to bring that up. Right, I mean, so
or it's
what are your thoughts?
Traumatizing stuff like that. So
right.
You don't
so
know,
So what are your thoughts about that? What do you think? Do you think that that's the fact, or do you think that that's an excuse? Answer below. Let us know what your thoughts are about that, because you hear that. You hear that a lot. If it happened, why didn't you go to the police? Right?
Yep.
Or she's making it up, and so on and so forth. Look, the allegations have to be treated seriously. The flip side to that is there's a lot of women out there that are full of shit. I'm going to call you on that. I'm going to call you.
There are lots of people
gals.
in general.
Some gals are full of shit.
Some of them are.
And they'll use things like that, okay? They'll use things like that because remember, one of the things that Coach Nick did when he was younger is he was a lawyer, right? And I still am a lawyer. And I represented women and men in family court as well. That was one of the things I used to do. And let me tell you something, a lot of times to be able to get more money in divorce cases and things of that nature, which is different than this, right?
Yep.
It wasn't beyond a woman to lie and claim that she was assaulted and so on and so forth.
Because it has happened.
And then the flip side of it is I was involved in cases where women were actually assaulted and they were brutally assaulted.
So
right?
we don't know if it's a truth or a lie.
Right.
We don't know who's lying.
So we want to hear your comments. What did Miko say?
He wrote, if it's true, I hope she gets justice.
If it's not
true, he needs justice.
I agree with you. I agree with you because you have two major problems here, right?
We don't know
one major problem is if in fact she was sexually assaulted, okay? That's bad,
That's
right?
bad.
And
Very bad.
it's real bad. If she's lying, that's bad. Okay? And it's a he said, she said type of thing.
Yeah.
And from a criminal case standpoint, I don't think there's any way that she can prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. But remember, this is not a criminal case.
No, it's something
right?
else.
This is in essence, a job interview to determine whether or not Kavanaugh should become Supreme Court Justice.
Right.
And your politicians are the people that are making this decision. That's kind of scary, right? Think about your politicians. I don't know.
Miko writes, I think if it was that embarrassing to her, why all of a sudden now? Why right now as he is nominated to be Supreme Court Justice?
That's true.
Good.
Well, I mean, valid point. I don't know. What I've heard people say, and I don't know if I believe this or not, but what I've heard people say is that it basically felt like it was her civic duty to come up and to speak about it, right? So I think part of the issue is there needs to be as full of disclosure as possible. Yeah. I just personally don't think that politicians are capable of that. I think that they're mostly full of baloney.
Angel wrote exactly.
And I think that they will continue to make it a horse and pony show.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I think. And that's the sad part. I'm going to ask everybody to, one more time, if you haven't shared, share this, okay? Let's share this and let's get this dialogue going, right? So let me tell you the story about one of my students, okay? You know who it is. We're not going to mention names, okay? We'll tell you several stories, but these were young ladies that were either attacked or, attempted attacks and things of that nature. And Angel, what's up? Laura, what's up? And, it didn't go well for the attacker, right? So, I guess what we're basically trying to tell you is that there's a benefit to learning how to defend yourself, to help yourself if, in fact, you're put into a position where somebody's attacking you. And I'm going to just tell you this right now. Ladies, go for the throat. Go for the eyes, okay? Don't make the testicles the first attack point. Certainly indulge, go for it, okay? But, the eyes, the throat, okay? They're generally not expecting that. And I have a lot of friends that are,
Miko writes, there's
on
her
Facebook.
Story. His story, and then there's the truth. I believe they are both not telling the truth.
Could be. Could be. You know,
somewhere in between.
Could be. You know, there's not a heck of a lot of information. And one thing I will say is, as time has gone by, it becomes more difficult to actually come up with what the truth is.
Daniel writes. Hold on, let me see. It says.
Bring it up.
Yep. There we are. It's hard not to feel bad for her and believe something happened, but then again, with so many she named denying they were there. Then also she says her shrink's notes are wrong, and then her saying she's scared to fly when seeing how many vacation flights she's taken, etc. It's hard to say if she's credible or not.
Right. So the credibility issue becomes definitely a factor. And you know, the other thing that I want to also share is that you know, it becomes really difficult, right, to ascertain, you know, what the actual facts are, because so much time has gone by. It becomes pretty impossible, I would say, to know for sure. And right now, the way it looks like a he said, she said
type of thing.
Okay, and unless something else comes out,
yep.
I don't think there's enough to stop this guy from becoming the Supreme Court justice. I don't think so. Okay, out of what I'm seeing so far, but the case is not over yet, right? So maybe there's more stuff that we don't know about. Okay, and maybe by chance, by some chance, our politicians will do a good job on it. Let's hope for that. I don't hold too much faith in that, but let's go into a story. Yeah, Laura agrees. Right.
Laura agrees.
Right. So look. As it stands right now, we don't have all the information in front of us, okay? You know, rape is very serious.
Rape is serious, but also lying is very serious.
Yeah, absolutely, okay?
So either way.
And I think that, you know, in a perfect world, it shouldn't happen, but the reality is it does happen.
Yeah.
And this is not a situation where we're saying, you know, a woman brings it upon herself. That's BS. That's bullshit, right? And we're going to call it bullshit. But what we will tell you is that try to learn how to defend yourself. Not just women, people in general, because there are a lot of pieces of shit in the world.
There are a lot of
there
crazy
really
people.
is, right? And just sinister people. I mean, there's mostly good people.
There are good people.
Okay, mostly good people, but it only takes an encounter with one bad person to forever change your life, right? So if in fact this really happened, to Paul,
and this is,
what could you do to defend yourself, or any situation? What can you do? Well, with one of our students, we told a lot of our followers the story. Okay, one of our martial arts students with the school that we had up in New York. What happened was, the young lady took martial arts courses with us for about 6 months.
Yes.
Okay. We taught her some pretty basic but effective Krav Maga techniques, because we specifically focused on Krav Maga with this particular student, although we studied several other arts, including Nisei Goju Karate under Hanshi Frank Poliani, and under Nisei Goju with Hanshi Wilfredo Roldan. Okay, and we also studied Dutch kickboxing, Dutch Muay Thai kickboxing with Sifu Ivan Play in Merrick, and also a bunch of other arts that we studied as well, right?
Yes.
So what we did with her is we taught her Krav Maga, okay, and she was a diligent student. She consistently came in and trained. Pretty much every single day that we had our classes would come in and we trained. And, we taught her techniques on how to deal with people assaulting you from behind and from a side and from so on and so forth. And if somebody gets you on the ground and so on and so forth. And at age 16, she was very, very interested in Chinese culture, right? And she was part of a club in her school. It was the Chinese club. So she was learning the culture, she was learning the language, and so on and so forth. Yeah. So the school ended up having a class trip in China. All right, sounds good, right? Okay. So she goes to this class trip to China. One evening, she's having dinner with her friend who went with her. And what ended up happening was they took a taxi cab to this restaurant. And then when they left, it turned out the taxi cab driver was still outside loitering. Kind of weird, you know, the guy was a little off, whatever the case may be. So one of the friends took the cab ride back to her hotel. They were staying in separate hotels, and my student, I guess she walked to her hotel. But what ended up happening was they decided that they were going to meet up together later on. So my student went to the hotel where her friend was staying, and her friend wasn't ready yet. She was still getting dressed. They were going to go out. And she went to the internet cafe of the hotel, you know, check emails and things of that nature, right? And when she came out and she walked out, all of a sudden somebody came from behind and attacked her, okay? Mm-hmm. But here's the thing. You know, she was grabbed by the guy. She knew to turn back, break the grip, strike to the chin, hit to the solar plexus, hit to the testicles, and then just keep on kicking, baby. And when he's on the ground, you know what you do? You do the nutcracker. You squash it. Squash those suckers. Squash those. I got so excited I lost my mouse. You got it. You got it.
It's okay, baby.
You gotta go hardcore.
Gotta go hardcore.
Gotta go hardcore. But you gotta know what you're doing, right? So what ended up happening is she started yelling in Chinese, "Help! Help, help," right? Yep. Share this because this is a very interesting story. Please share this.
Yeah.
Help, help, help. Okay?
Yep.
And the hotel people came in and they saw what was going on and they thought that she was assaulting him. Right? And they pulled her off of him, and then they called, what's up, Mark?
Hello.
Hey, Anna,
Hello,
what's
Anna.
up? They called the police, the Chinese police, and the Chinese police came, and they realized that she wasn't the attacker at all. She was the victim. The guy who tried to assault her, who got his ass kicked. Is that a legal term of art? He got his ass whooped. He took an ass whipping, all right? Because Coach Nick and 2.0, we taught her how to give him an ass whipping, okay? And we're very proud of that. So what ended up happening is the police turned around and they said, okay, they said to the young lady, we apologize about this. We don't, you know, in China, this is not the way we are. You know, we don't do things like this. And it turned out that this guy was actually a serial rapist, and he would target Western females going to China to rape them. How about that? And he had raped, ready for this? Not one, not two, not three, but four Western women. 4 Western women, okay? No, it was 4. Oh. He raped 4 Western women in China. How about that, okay? All right, how about that? And check this out. In China, they do things a little bit different. The following week, they executed him. How about that?
Oh, they were.
Yeah, that was the end of the story. Okay? So that was a situation that happened with one of our clients. Okay, we got some more messages over here.
We got Miko. Miko writes.
Miko says, most likely he will not become Supreme Court Justice. Due to the story, everything he says from here on out could be used against him. All his rulings, because people will appeal his rulings and say he's not credible. This story will forever be brought up and used against his credibility. Possibly, and I will remind everybody that this is kind of like deja vu all over again, because we had a similar type of situation with Justice Clarence Thomas. With Anita Hill. Anita Hill made allegations against him as well. Yeah. I don't think it was as I don't remember because it was many decades ago, but I don't think it was as bad allegations as we have here. Let's see what else. Miko says if you're in that situation, scream, fire, rape, not help. Yeah, you could scream, but a kick to the balls and a thumb in the eye and a shot to the throat works a lot better. Believe me. Yep. Believe me. Rip their fucking ear off, okay? That works too. That works too. Let's see.
Miko rocks.
Hold on. It's coming fast and furious.
Share, guys. Says, that's not true in the least, and Ford is being proven uncredible and a story
perjury. And then we got Master Tony. What's up, Master Tony? How are you?
Tony.
He says...
hold on. We got
when its only purpose...
Number 1, its only purpose as a political weapon. 2... the people bringing the accusation have a history of lying.
Okay.
Or 3, there is no proof. And 4, you are profiting on it using the tune of over $500,000, then yeah, I think you're lying. That's what he says. And then,
Master Tony, can you elaborate on that $500,000? Because I didn't hear about that portion of the story.
$500,000.
Yeah, what can you comment below and tell us a little bit more about that? Because I didn't hear about that portion of it. $500,000 from where, from who's getting it, and so on and so forth. Please comment, because that's really interesting.
Nico wrote, I know I'm saying people will not listen. People will always have their opinions, of course.
That's true, absolutely.
Eva Ortiz says it was worsted.
It was worst.
It was worst.
Okay. Cool. So that was one incident. Again, we're going to ask everybody to share. Let's keep this dialogue going, because quite honestly, I think it's beneficial, because one of the things that you can do as a citizen is you can contact your local politicians, your local, the senators in your state, and tell them what your opinions are and how they should vote, right? And hopefully they'll actually listen to the populace. Sometimes I wonder, regardless of Republican or Democrat, whether or not they actually listen. But you do have the right to reach out to them and talk to them about what your opinions are and what your thoughts are, right?
Yep.
So that was one incident that we had. Okay. We also had another incident where we were asked by a group, and again, we're not going to get specific about the groups, but we'll give you some of the information. Teresa Pagan says voting blue. Okay, there you go. So she's voting blue. Okay. One of the things that we did is we went to a seminar. I don't know if you were there, 2.0, because you might have still been in class or something like that. But we did a martial arts self-defense seminar for a group in Brooklyn, without getting too specific. Hey, Jennifer, what's up? And we taught them some self-defense techniques as it pertains to how to escape from somebody grabbing your arm, right? From grabbing your arm, and, if you're in a club, and somebody's being aggressive and so on and so forth. So we selected one of the women, and this is this is a common problem. Assault to all people, and especially to women, is very common. So whether it happened to Dr. Ford or it didn't happen to Dr. Ford, and whether Judge Kavanaugh did it or didn't do it, regardless of that, okay, there are sexual predators out there, right? And there are criminals out there.
Doesn't matter who they are.
Absolutely. So we go to this event in Brooklyn, and it was a women's group, and we were teaching them self-defense, okay? And what we did was we showed them how to escape from wrist grabs, right? So if somebody grabs you, what do you do? So on and so forth. Somebody grabs your wrist, let's go a little higher. Somebody grabs your wrist, right? They're tugging on you, they're pulling on you. There's certain things that you can do to change the positioning of your arm and their arms to escape, and to, if you want, to strike them and to, get away, right? So we had this clinic, and we actually had one of the young ladies come and volunteer to learn how to do this. Now, I'd like you guys to share this if you haven't already shared it, because we're going to give you some pretty good advice, especially if you're a young lady and you're concerned about some creep trying to do something bad to you. Okay, so we did this seminar. We had one of the young ladies come in as a volunteer, and we showed her how to escape from a wrist grab. So go ahead and grab the wrist. So one of the things that you want to do, take a look at this, okay? You see this motion right here? Okay, if you pull back, you're working with 5 fingers right here, ladies and guys. Okay,
going up
all right. So four fingers, right? Okay, so it's going to be hard to pull back, and the natural instinct is to pull back. Okay, but over here you only have 1 finger, so hold. Okay, so one of the things that you want to do is you want to rotate this way. Okay, rotate this way and pull. Okay, and when you're pulling, pull with all your body. Okay, use your whole entire body. Okay, because you put more leverage into it, more body weight, and you'll break the grip. Okay, now look at what this does. Right, this gives you 1 or it gives you 2. Right, and remember what I said to you. Eyes, throw, then the balls. Don't go for the balls right away, ladies.
Don't go for the balls.
Leave that for last. That's your
the
dessert.
icing on the top.
That's the dessert. You got all of this. Look, see, you got all of that. You got this. How about a finger in the nose? How about a finger in the mouth? Now rip the shit your mouth. Oh, what are we doing here?
What's the matter? You doused the eye.
You got so many options. Don't go for the nuts right away. Save those for later.
Save those. That's the icing on the top.
That's the icing. A little humor. We got to make it a little funny, right? Share this. We got to have a little fun with this, right? Because everybody gets too serious and then they get all upset.
They get all upset, and it's like.
But anyhow, so that's pretty much where it's at. Okay?
Uh-huh.
So that's it. Anybody else want to comment? We're going to wrap up in about a few seconds.
Yep.
I think that's pretty much where we're at,
That's
right?
much everything.
But let's finish the story. So the young lady, we showed her how to do that escape.
Yep.
Okay. Like within a day or two later, she goes to a nightclub, and what happens? Some jackass, little drunk, you know, little wiped out, right? He goes, he's being too aggressive. He's grabbing her. Daniel says has been investigated like 6 times already and shows up clean. Now this RT before his confirmation. Come on,
right
before the confirmation. I don't even like the guy, but the timing seems like a total hit job. Could be.
By hit job, he means it seems convenient. That's what he meant.
Right. What's up, Steven? So anyway, back to the story. So we do this clinic for a women's group in Brooklyn.
Yep.
We have the young lady come in, and she acts as a person that we demonstrated with. We teach her how to do it. She practices it. She goes to a lounge or a club within a day or two later, and what happens? A drunk guy gets very aggressive, grabs her, is trying to manhandle her, and guess what? She used the technique and escaped. She didn't hit him, right? But she used the technique to escape and get away. So this stuff works. Okay? Is it foolproof? No. I mean, at any chance, any time, any place, somebody can hurt you, right? But knowing it is very, very helpful, right?
Yeah.
And the other thing that we want to talk about is, look, a lot of people talk about it's hard to prove the case, which is true, right? The standard that exists for this is not a criminal standard, right? So you don't necessarily need probable cause. You don't necessarily need to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that this guy did it, right? It becomes a question of how they're going to internally make the decision, right? How are they going to make that decision, okay? Did he do it? Didn't he do it? I mean, it's 36 years ago, right? You know, as far as I know, there hasn't been any other claims against him. But there were like a couple of other women, but it's not clear if it was credible or not credible.
And she accused 2 people.
Again, I think that we just don't have enough information. We don't have enough information to make a determination of what's going on. And it's up to our politicians to tell us more. You know, tell us more. What's going on?
Sure, what's going on?
And, you know, stop with the horse and pony show where they're all arguing against each other. It doesn't accomplish anything except divide us, you know. And like I said before, we're all Americans. We're all people, man. You know, whether we believe, you know, one thought or another thought, we're all people, right? And it shouldn't be that we're fighting each other. It should be that we should be getting the best decision to get the best person up there, or not necessarily the best person, but to decide whether or not he's going to go up there or not, because that's the guy that was nominated, right? So that's basically what we think, right?
Yeah.
2.0?
Yeah.
Pretty accurate. So I think to wrap it up, we're going to give you guys an opportunity to give some more of your thoughts in here. Okay, we'll read it out and share it with everybody. And let's share this post with people and get some more comments on it. We're very interested in it. And then if we get some juicy comments on it this time, we'll do another live stream and give you some more information on it. Justin, what's up? Gary, what's up?
Yep.
Lawrence, what's up?
Troy.
Tony, we already said hello to. Stephen, we already said hello
Steven,
to.
what's up?
All right. So let's share this. Let's get some last minute comments before we wrap this up. And you know, anybody else, you know. And that's basically it. I mean, that's really where I see it, right? Right, 2.0, pretty much. All right, so that's pretty much it, guys.
Gary writes,
thumbs up to you as well.
Thumbs up to you.
All right, so listen, I thought this was a pretty productive conversation. It's Coach Nick.
2.0.
We love you guys.
We love you all.
Peace. Thank you so much for your input. Bye-bye.